everyone, this is Heather Havenwood and Stephanie. I'm going to pass the mic to her. This is about confidence killers. Stephanie, go for it.
Hey everyone, the reason Heather and I are creating this module is because after a lot of research, we have found that there are a few very specific confidence killers that at one point or another, one or both of us have struggled with. And so one of the reasons that I'm really passionate about this module, about confidence killers, is that it's really important when you're in war to understand your enemy. Right now, a lot of things in your upbringing, in the rules, religion, domestication, the way that you grew up taught you how to act and exist a certain way in the world. And the way that you are acting is not always the best for your confidence journey. So the first thing that we want to talk about is how playing safe kills confidence. This comes from the work of Reshma Saujani, the founder of Girls Who Code. Heather, can you tell us about that?
Yes, we can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Playing it safe. I thought I was doing procrastination.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted to play it safe. I'll do playing it safe then.
Yeah. I'm doing procrastination.
In fact, I feel really, really passionate about this. And Heather, I think I already told you this. I did a webinar on confidence a long time ago, and this was far and away like where everyone said was the most fascinating thing they learned, because it is so true. You cannot help but to nod your head when I tell you about this. But playing it safe kills confidence. What we mean by that is, in order to be confident, you have to take risks. However, people are taught to play it safe. Specifically, women are taught to play it safe. Reshma Saujani, the founder of Girls Who Code, she does a lot of work detailing how boys are taught to play rough, tackle their opponents, and take risks, whereas women are taught not to stir the waters. And I like to use the analogy of a nightgown that I actually had when I was a little girl that said perky, playful, polite, and pretty too. I cannot actually believe it, but it's true. I had those words written on a nightgown. But being perky, playful, polite, and pretty, that's not the way you're going to have success in life.
Okay, I just want to stop you for a second.
Especially not confidence.
Did you really have that on your...
Yeah.
What was it again? Perky?
I had a nightgown when I was a little girl that said perky, playful, polite, and pretty too.
You think a boy had that?
Fuck no.
I'm sorry, but that's the kind of bullshit that women are taught to be sweet and perky and playful. Is that going to get you in life and as an entrepreneur? No. I'm sorry. I'm laughing and giggling all at the same time. I had the unicorn and the strawberry shortcake and the Be Sweet and the bullshit. So, like, I'm not better, but I just want to, like, laugh my butt off about that one.
Well, and you know, one of the things that we've done before building this program is we've researched every single confidence expert who's making an impact in the world. And they say there's a huge difference. And we talk about this in the What is Confidence module. There's a huge difference between confidence and just thinking you're good. And I've taken it a step further where I say confidence means you've worked out the muscle. Yeah. Self-esteem means you're flexing even if you don't got muscles.
Yeah, okay, confidence actually means you believe in yourself and you have the confidence. But I agree with that. But I think what I think is really fascinating is this pajamas that you had, because you were ingrained to not have high self-esteem of yourself and confidence. You were ingrained to be perky. I mean, what the hell is perky? That's not confidence. That's just everything's great and I'm perky. I mean, and men are taught what? They throw on G.I. Jane or, army stuff and to be strong and you can do it. And women are like, well, yours is to be perky. Like, And then they wonder why there's such a demarcation in differences. I just find it sad and funny. And still to this day, women and moms are putting their little girls in perky and sweet stuff. And I get it, but when you're out in the real world and things happen, and you're up against an opponent called men in business, and they're not thinking that way, and you wonder why we're losing sometimes, this is why, because the ingrainedness in that is so pervasive. So
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's why I love to say, one of my favorite things when I coach people personally in confidence, and I coach a lot of people who have failing businesses, who are going through divorce. And one of the things that I like to say is self-esteem is a feeling and confidence is a verb. Confidence is an action. Or one of my favorite confidence researchers, Richard Petty, he says, confidence is the stuff that puts thoughts into action. Or one of my personal quotes that I use is, confidence turns your potential into power. It's not, I have potential, I'm so great. It's, I'm going to actually get this shit done. Okay.
yeah.
So confidence is the get shit done that is not necessarily coupled with self-esteem. But I think as you practice confidence, it does raise your self-esteem. Heather has heard me talk about when I got a divorce and I invested a lot of my time and money and energy into so many things that people that things and people that didn't pan out, that I just about fucking gave up on life and got a job bartending. Confidence is that risk taking. I'm going to keep taking risks. I'm going to keep throwing shit at the wall. I'm going to keep investing money. I'm going to keep learning and growing and getting better. It's not, I'm on the hamster wheel. It's, I'm going to figure out, slay my demons, slay my dragons, and keep taking risks because I believe in myself. And so confidence, therefore, is a verb. It is not a feeling. A feeling is, I feel great. Confidence is, every day I'm going to take risks. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to take another risk, more calculated in the future, ideally. So along this line of playing safe kills confidence, Carol Dweck, the author of Mindset, the Psychology for Success, she points out that women are more likely to give up than men. And in fact, the smarter women are, the more likely they are to give up. Men apply for jobs if they only have 60% of the qualifications. Women will not apply unless they have 100% of the qualifications. And what Johnny, who I mentioned earlier, the woman who founded Girls Who Code, what she thinks is that women are taught to play it safe, and they're not taught to take risks. So in order to be confident, you have to take risks and then continue to take risks when you fall on your face. Okay? Get scruffy, get dirty, get muddy, get bruised, get bloody. The only way to accomplish great things is to take great risks and keep doing it over and over again. Ideally, you're going to get smarter along the way. Ideally, we're all getting smarter along the way. Heather, do you want to talk to us about another confidence killer, which is perfectionism? When you're unmuted.
Is a good one for me to talk about because I am not a perfectionist. I
used to be a perfectionist big time, so I will be happy to talk about perfectionism.
Well, that's why I'm talking about it, so that you're not talking about it. That's kind of the point, because I want to explain to you that perfection is ridiculousness. It really is. It's a disease. It's not even valid in life. Men are not taught perfectionism. Period. Ever, ever, ever. Go to war. Go hang out at war. Go hang out at the boardroom. They are not about perfection. They don't care.
Right.
And so that's why I picked this one, because I know you're a recovering perfectionist. I'm very aware of that. That's why I don't want you to talk about it. Because I have a philosophy. You just get it out. Get it done. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. You just get it out, get it done. The fact that you get it out, then you can get feedback. From the feedback, you can tweak it. If you can get something, a project done 80% out, then that is success. For me, it's 80%. If it's just even tweaked of 80%, then it's good. If it's 100%, I wasted too much time, period. Because then there's no room for feedback. Because there's no such thing as perfectionism anyway. What is perfectionism? In what degree? In what viewpoint? In whose viewpoint? I learned a long time ago in sales, there is such thing as perfectionism. You just do it. And you never, ever, 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 ever ask permission. You just do it. And then if someone doesn't like it, they'll let you know. And then you consider it at the moment. Okay. So my very first company, after four years in Southwestern Bell, I created my first funnel. Did I ask somebody? No. I figured it out how to create a funnel before even the word funnel. This is 1999, 2000. And I was number one in the country. I was number one in the country at a very young age because I created a funnel. And then guess what happened? They got mad at me. And they're like, well, you can't do that. I'm like, but I already did for a year and I made money. Now, how they were, being how they positioned me was I broke the rules. There was actually no rules against it. I just figured out I was smarter than them, but I didn't ask permission. Screw that. So then what happened is they fired me. Why? Because I was smarter than them, but I made 10 times more money than them. And so if you ask permission or wait for perfectionism, you're wasting time. You're wasting your energy. Just go do it. Just go do it. And this is a big one for women because we are taught to be perfectionists. It's a learned behavior. Someone taught you that, Stephanie. Someone taught that to all the women out there. Someone taught you that you've got to be a perfectionist or you've got to get things completed or whatever that was word for them. That's out of my vocabulary. I was okay with being a B student. Screw A students. You got too much drama and trauma towards you anyway. So for me, especially as an entrepreneur, just get it done, get it out, get it launched. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. So you're welcome to say anything now.
No, I mean, I love it. I love it. I think, don't let perfect be the enemy of good is probably one of my top 3 mantras that I repeat every single day of my life this year. Because when I built the Moms Wear Capes program, for instance, I wanted everything to be perfect. And I wanted to have the perfect sales funnel and the perfect webinar and the perfect, and then, when I actually made money, fuck the webinar, fuck the sales funnel, fuck the email autoresponders. I actually finally made money when I got on the goddamn phone with people and said, I have the best thing in the world. Get out your credit card, buy it right now, or you're going to live a life of mediocrity because moms are going to suck without my program. And I really believed it. And right now, Heather, we are surrounded with all these, like all of Russell Brunson's material, right? It's the script. It's the funnel. It's the script. It's, you got to say this, in this order, this objection, this, blah, blah, blah. I had the exact webinar script and my shit still didn't convert. And it was perfect. And I mean, perfect. To think of the months of my life that I have waited.
Here's the thing you have to get, and I understand where you're coming from, but people aren't perfect. So why in the hell are they going to buy from perfect? Like there's a few guys I just listened to recently on a webinar and they do really well. I know they do financially from this webinar, but you know why they do?
Why?
They stutter. They're like, oh, well, I mean, if I can't, it's like, oh, hold on, I missed a part. And, they're like all over the place in the webinar. I stayed in the entire time and I was like, I bet they're killing it. Because what they're showing is, I'm an idiot. I made money. And if you think you're smarter than me, you should buy my shit. That's it. And so, my question to people listening, if they create a webinar, is like, are you positioning yourself as you know it all? Are you positioning yourself as you're better than people? Are you positioning yourself that like my shit don't stink? Then you're probably getting lower conversions. if you have a viewpoint of like, look, I'm just kind of, you know, a dumbass a little bit and I figured it out. And if I can figure it out, you can figure it out and you don't really need me. But maybe, you know, if you want, here's the deal. I promise you'll get more sales. Going back to my experience with Southwest traveling the country, one of the things that we did in the presentation, because the guy, our presenter, by the way, was this white guy, good looking guy. And we, you know, you were forced to wear a suit, so you couldn't change that. But what we did was we took out the tie and made it loose. And he talked a lot about the fact that he failed a lot and that he did, I think he didn't have a degree or something like that. Like he talked a lot about his failures. Now in his life, he lived in this gorgeous house in San Diego with this beautiful wife and beautiful daughters and a beautiful dog. And like his life was pretty perfect. But he talked a lot about like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I sucked. And like, I can't even talk that. I don't even talk good sentences. And, you know, he dummied himself down. And when you have confidence in yourself, you can dummy yourself down to situations of going like, I'm not that great. Cause I do. I failed a shitload, but I'm not attached to those failures anymore. And so that's one of the big things of confidence is like, yeah, I failed off my ass, you know, and I'm still holding strong. So you can too. And I think that's one of the reasons why perfectionism is that they're insecure. A perfectionist, and I'm not trying to go against you, but a perfectionism, the behavior of perfection is trying to overcome a feeling of self-doubt, right? So I want to be perfect so that I can feel successful. And if I feel successful in this project or situation, then I can have more confidence. If you have the confidence, it doesn't matter if the project turns out or not.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, the dude that's on stage who's fallen on the sword. He's saying, I don't care what people think about me. A, he's confident, and B, he's going, if I could do it, you can too. You know, and he's really, in a way, by being so humble, he's, for all intents and purposes, he's saying, he's empowering people almost, you know, by being not perfect. Because
I think it's not about being humble, because there's a lot of those guys that are not humble, but they definitely are like, you know, I'm kind of a doofus. You can be too. Like the one guy I was listening to, he kept harping on the fact that he was a construction worker. I'm a construction worker. I was a construction worker. I was a construction worker. For me, I, you know, talk about that, you know, I was bankrupt and I lost my ass and I was living on someone's couches, and it's true, you know, and I think that that's being just truthful, understand the gap. People do not buy anything unless they feel like there's a hope to it.
That is such an important point that you make, is that people need hope. And that's, you know, they're not going to buy something if they think, oh, I've got to be really, really amazing, or this isn't going to work for me.
What's the next one?
One of the big killers of confidence when it comes to taking risks, to reaching towards your goals, is self-criticism, which I know a large part of our audience, probably a majority of our audience for this program, is going to be women. And self-criticism is something women are absolutely prone to. We do it about the work professionally that we do. We do it as moms. We do it in terms of our relationships. I'm not a good daughter. I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good mom. Self-criticism is killing confidence. And what's really interesting is that the more we read from experts on this subject, the more we read that men don't criticize themselves very much. They almost never criticize themselves. In fact, even when they're wrong, they don't criticize themselves. Tony Robbins has a relationship teacher, and her name is Alison Armstrong. And you may have heard, if you've heard of, like if you've gone to Unleash the Power Within or any of Tony Robbins' events, he'll talk about his relationship coach. It's this woman named Alison Armstrong. And she has this really like a podcast. It's a 4-hour podcast that she did called Understanding Women. It's not even one of her books. She's got books. But this 4-hour speech she gave, or it's an amalgamation of a bunch of speeches called Understanding Women, is one of the most profound things you'll ever listen to about men and women. And what she says on the subject of self-criticism killing confidence is that women have a nagging voice inside their heads that criticizes everything they do. It criticizes your hair, your shoes, your clothes, your language patterns. But she said that we do it as a survival instinct. And she brings all of her relationship training and training about men and women back to like the primal, the cave woman or the caveman. And she says that men are less externally motivated than women. What this means is that men, they are inspired from within by a sense of purpose. Women are inspired by what others think about them. And part of that is because women are making decisions to raise a family. And so they're making decisions based off how the tribe's going to feel. Men are out there thinking about themselves. Why? Because they're out there hunting elephants. If they think about someone else, they're going to get eaten alive. And so she says caveman is out there focused on one thing, kill the lion. Cave woman is out there focused on one thing. How am I going to protect the tribe, keep the cave running, get everyone fed and cleaned up so we don't die of scurvy or whatever they had in the caves. And so it's a really interesting and grace-filled way to explain why men are, on the outside, it looks like they're kind of selfish, and women are self-critical. And so she brings it back to this primal cave woman, caveman day. So
I'm going to say this because she won't say it. Men are fucking selfish, period. I mean, I don't know what. So yeah, she doesn't say it. She's all up in her stuff about that. Dude, men are selfish and they win in business. Period. You want to win in business? Be selfish. Get over it. That's the end of the story. I mean, you're right. They go out and hunt, but you've got to learn to understand that psychology and either use it for you or use it against you. And it's a very important piece. And then we wonder why we get into business with men and JV with men and connect with men and think that, oh, we're going to co-build together and they're going to take care of me. And we wonder why they screw us over. Who's done that? Me. Not once, not twice, 3 times I've done that, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to support them and we're going to be building this together and we're going to co-create. Guess what happened? Guess where all those businesses are today? They're viable, they're successful, and I'm not part of them. I'm making any of the money. That's because I thought for a second that men weren't selfish assholes. Men are selfish assholes. Even in a marriage, they're still going to take care of themselves over their woman. Because it's self-preservation. It's something they are taught. They know that if they can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of their woman or their family. They will self-preserve themselves first over the man and over the woman, over the child. Women are the opposite. We'll self-sacrifice ourselves for the child. We'll say, I'll kill myself to protect the child. Men don't think that way. They go, well, I have to protect the child. So how I do that is I protect myself first. I have to protect my wife, so I've got to protect myself first.
And the only answer to this confidence killer that we have is stop criticizing yourself and start looking after yourself first. If you're going to go into some partnership, get everything in fucking writing. If you're gonna do some joint venture, make sure that you're getting a minimum draw, so that you're not devoting a lot of work building something for someone for free, which I think Heather and I have both done at some point.
I think this is a big one because I can't tell you how many times women, including me, have been married, and I'll tell you the example that's not me, it's not you, it's totally third party. And I feel like it's a good one because it's totally third party and you and I are not connected to these people. So I watched Marcus Lewinsky, forgot his name, of The Profit. And he goes into businesses called The Profit. He goes into businesses and helps them. Okay, so he does this new show. It's called like Behind the Profit. And so what it is him and his producer, this female producer, who basically kind of does behind the scenes of each of some episodes. Okay. Because what we see, like the behind the scenes of the stuff going on, right, is two different things. So he brings up this episode with this guy who is in Florida. He is a classic narcissist. He runs this sign shop that's done very well, but like he dives into the company, he looks around, his girlfriend, who they live together and they have a kid together, but they're not married, girlfriend pretty much runs everything. Shocker. Is running everything, keeping the ship down. Right?
Go figure.
Yeah, right. Go figure. Keeping things handled. Right? He's this crazy, like, ugh. Everyone in the shop doesn't like him, even though he's the owner, because he keeps changing his mind. He barks at people. He yells at people. All this crazy stuff. They're in debt. All this stuff. Well, Marcus is like, what's your salary, to the girlfriend who's the operations director, by the way, and she said nothing. And he said, why not? Do you have your own bank account? Do you not are you not getting paid? And he pipes in, the owner / boyfriend goes, well, I haven't really taken any money out of the business, so she doesn't get to either. He's like, but she has a job and she's not married to you and she doesn't own this company, so she's giving her time away for free, hoping that you guys get married and she owns half the company. But right now, if y'all break up as is, she is completely screwed. And Marcus was trying to go, we need to put her on the books as an employee and pay her for her job. And the boyfriend was, of course, like, no. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, here she is. He pays the bills. He owns the money. He has the home. It's his kid. If all of a sudden one day she's like, I'm done, I'm out of here, you're a jerk, she's got nothing. She's got nothing. And I want you to get how many women are in this situation. There's a ton, because they hope and they wish and they think that the man that they love and adore is going to take care of them. When the reality is, men take care of themselves first. And then he has the audacity to say, yeah, well, I'm just now taking money out. And then Marcus looks at her and goes, great, how much money are you receiving as your salary? She said nothing. And I want you to get, this is by the way, not 1950. This is in 2019. There are so many women out there who are just, well, I'm going to do it for the team. I'm going to take care of the team. And men don't think in team. Men have to be trained in SEAL school to think team. They have to literally be broken down in their physicalness of their brain to be taught team. And it's this revolutionary experience for them. Never leave another soldier behind. And there's this whole thing about team. But the reason why it's so aha for them is because it has to be literally pounded in their head. We, women, that's just like what we do. Why would we leave her behind? Why would we leave him behind? Right? Self-sacrifice for the team, for the family, for the kid, whatever. Men don't do that. And I understand why, but the reason why I'm being so adamant about this is that, and bringing you back in stuff, is that basically, we as women are naive as shit and think that just because we love this person or care about this person or respect this person, we assume they respect us back. We assume that they see our value. We assume that they love us back to the next same level. We don't actually think it through and protect ourselves. And one of my dearest friends is a lawyer who deals with divorce. And I see this over and over and over and over and over again. Right? Where the woman didn't protect, she trusted the man with the finances, whatever the situation was, and they find themselves in a bad situation. And I've been there too. I mean, I wasn't a victim to this, but I've done this because I was trained at a very young age by my mother that women don't deal with finances and trust the man and blah, all that crap. So my point of this is I want you to get as a confident, sexy boss woman is you've got to be able to be responsible for everything in your life, period, including how people treat you, including how people respect you, including how people see you, right? I'm on my high horse.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how, it's funny that we're shooting this module today. So last night, my son and I were playing at the like a splash pad in our town. We walked into like a burger joint for dinner, and well, actually, we had a vegetarian picnic dinner, and then we walked in for ice cream. And so I saw 3 women that used to be a part of a country club that I used to belong to. And this scenario that you're talking about perfectly illustrated right there in that moment. They looked at me like they didn't know me. I knew them damn well. And they looked at me like they didn't, oh, hi, Stephanie, it's been so long. And I'm looking at them and I'm going, this can be you, bitches. You know what I mean? Like, you think you've got it all together because right now your bank account has 3 commas and countless zeros, and you flew in here on a private jet from Dallas and from Houston. I'm like, but this could be you. I guarantee you right now, you can run into that Louis Vuitton store in Aspen and purchase $12,000 worth of clothes that you can wear this weekend. But next week, you could be penniless, because you're not protecting yourself. And I didn't either. In my relationship, I had, a multi-million-dollar condo, a $5 million house. I was driving, nothing but Porsches, and then boom, gone overnight. That's part of the reason Heather and I are writing this program, is because women do not protect themselves. And we are about to hit the stage, literally and figuratively, on this information product and in our personal speaking engagements, telling women, beware, it's coming for you. And it's not the 1950s. It's not like divorce is shunned and your husband's going to be there till death do you part. No, he's going to be there until maybe your tits sag just enough that he's not interested.
So he wants to not be. I mean, I think
he really wants to not be. And if it's socially acceptable for him to leave your ass, it's socially acceptable for you to protect yourself.
Yeah, just protect yourself. Protect yourself. Don't be naive. Just as all I suggest to everyone is don't be so naive. I did the exact same thing that woman did. I built a business. I ran everything. He gave me a little bit of money for the month so I could pay some bills. We were engaged, the whole thing. But I had it in writing that we were owners and all that. So I thought, oh, I'm protected. No, it's been 2 years and we're still in legal battle. Wow. And, I think that that's one thing that women, they just, well, that will never happen to me. Bullshit. Can happen to you. So I think that's, if you find a guy who's just perfect and just hands over the keys to your kingdom, and that's fine. But if you feel at all you want to be in reality a little bit to cover your ass, here's what I would say: watch one version of Beverly Hills Housewives. You will see it's not all perfect, and there's men that screw them over and leave them penniless too. It's happened. Bethany was skinny. I mean, it's happened. And so I think that one of the things I think I'm real big on this particular, why I decided to do this confidence, is because I want to give myself and you, Stephanie, and every woman out there the confidence that truly a man is not a fucking plan.
A man is not a plan.
A man is not a plan.
Beautiful.
Anyway, I know I'm on my little high horse. Okay, I think
it's good that you're on the high horse, because if we do nothing else in this program but get women to protect themselves financially, to where you go to sleep at night and you know that nothing is going to happen to take away your security, we've done our job. Period. End of story. We have a couple more confidence killers that we can really quickly go through. But
let's quickly go through them.
I think we've actually already talked about them through the idea of perfectionism, self-criticism, and playing it safe kill confidence. The last 2 are simply commoditization kills confidence. Women still seek approval from men. We do most of the housework. We take care of the children. We work 14-hour days. We prepare the meals. We do the shopping. Millions and millions and millions of women around the world are exhausting themselves.
I don't do that shit, just by the way. You're saying you, but I don't do that crap. So,
well, neither one of us do. Well, my last relationship, I definitely I did the work, and my partner did like the traditional female role, the housework, the cooking. That was all. That was definitely all him and not me, which was awesome. And I loved the quote unquote role reversal. But most women still, statistically speaking, are doing most of the housework. The average average amount of hours that a woman works who's not a mother is still 94, meaning they do a 40-hour job and then they do 54 additional hours of work in the home. It's like basically when you're not sleeping, you're working. So a way to be confident is to not be a commodity, to not be a doormat, to make sure that you stand up for yourself. Use the exercises in the members area and figure out, are you a maid? Are you the chef? Or are you the wife? And if you find that you're doing all the same work you did before kids, and your husband or partner has not taken on additional responsibilities like you have, that you guys need to have a serious conversation about that. The final confidence killer is obsequiousness. I have a very feminine, I have a very servile, a very people-pleasing partner right now. Yes, he is a man, but he kind of assumes a lot of the feminine roles and identity. And I'm constantly telling him, stop being obsequious. Stop bending over backwards for others. Stop people-pleasing. So being obsequious is basically being servile, being a people-pleaser, being submissive to other people's needs. Being a sexy, confident boss is not being servile. It's not nodding your head and saying, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. It's saying, yeah, go get me a coffee. I would love that. Make sure it has cream. You know what I mean? It's making sure that you're saying, yeah, this is a partnership. And in this partnership, I get 50%. So not being obsequious. Meditate on that word and then head over to the members area right now where we go into the whole concept of being obsequious into more details. But what it really means is not being servile or submissive to others, which a lot of women, myself included, were taught is a divine characteristic. It's not a divine characteristic. It's a confidence killer. Heather, do you have anything to say on that note, or do you want to wrap this up for us?
I'm good. Let's wrap it up. Yeah. I'm good.
Good. Everyone, your confidence killers, playing it safe, perfectionism, self-criticism, commoditization, and obsequiousness. All these confidence killers, we have attached some exercises to help you get over them in your members area. I hope this helps you to be more confident, more radiant, and most importantly, more secure in your life and especially your financial life going forward. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.